There is only one reason why you need to fear death. You need to fear death because it throws you into a zone of unknown environment. During the transition period, when this body that you're attached to so much is unable to perform its functions, there is a brief transition period before you start re-identifying yourself with the body. Now, that brief period is unknown, where what you have learned, what you know, can be forgotten. If you know how to type, your new body might not pick up that memory because it is not that important. If you know how to sing really well, for all you know, in your next life, you might not be a good singer. That is the fear. Now, what if I die before my enlightenment, before my awakening? Do I have to start all over again? Do I have to find a new teacher? And what if I don't find the teacher? And what if I take birth as a creature that cannot be taught? All these fears arise. But most of these fears are stemming from ignorance. It's because you want to hold on to the teachings, you want to hold on to the practice, there is a fear. But notice, if you have spent learning about meditation, being with a teacher, inquiring about the nature of life, it is a dynamic process that has seeped into multiple parts of your being. Some parts of it you can forget, some teachings you can forget, but it is extraordinarily rare that you forget completely that you ever sat in front of a teacher and learned, that you ever inquired into the nature of reality. From a human being, you are suddenly taking birth as a cat. That's only fear. Most of what you call you is a continuity. It just continues. You will continue to sit with the teacher, you will continue to ask questions, because body isn't something real that is dying. There is nothing fundamentally, existentially changing at birth. What is changing is your understanding of life, is your understanding of death. It's because you're holding on to a certain idea of life, certain idea of death. At that moment of death, all these ideas are being churned in your mind and it is confusing you. Existentially, it is as simple as going to sleep and waking up in the morning. Just as you don't have to fear that, what if I go to sleep now and when I wake up in the morning, I forget to ask questions about meditation. I forget to recognize my teacher. Do you ask questions like that? No, because you know how deep your mind is. You know how far the memory goes. You know when you wake up in the morning, whether you want it or not, your mind will flood all these memories back. It does not take much. One voice, one reflection of your teacher in your mind, he'll come back. Something will remind you, because you are not just the body, you're not just the mind, you are everything that you're experiencing. As long as you have not transcended the totality of all experiences, you can be certain that your life will continue as a continuity. There is no absolute disconnection. Now here you might have questions. Well, there has to be a disconnection because I grew old. My body became old. Now in my next life, I need a new body. Don't get into all those complications. Your body is a very simple phenomenon. Your body is neither old nor young. It is your mind that makes you believe in a certain way. It's because you are continuously thinking about the body in a certain way. You are imagining it to be growing older. You are imagining that it's going to die. It's all a part of the mind. In reality, your mind will switch the body like changing clothes without any effort. And your new body can accommodate the same old dreaming. There is no problem at all. So to understand all these things, you have to start preparing right from now. There's so much to understand about life. Death and birth are not just concepts, are not just ideas. They are deep existential truths of life. The only way to understand death is to understand life. The only way to understand life is to understand death. Start the process, go beyond the illusion of both life and death, then there's nothing to fear. Whether you become enlightened or you don't become enlightened, both experiences you will accept with equanimity because you would have understood the fundamental way in which life moves. You would have understood that all your fears of death and rebirth are only because you are still living in ignorance. Existence is too spectacular. It is marvelous and it is very kind, very gentle. Existence loves you. It will not push you into some unknown, unnecessary dark corner where you have to crawl yourself out. If you have already put in the effort to crawl yourself out of the dark spaces of life, that knowledge will continue. But the problem is, see how often you fall into these dark corners in this very life. Forget about death. Forget about rebirth. See how many times you make a mistake, how many times you blame yourself. See how much you fear in this very life. Oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I go to prison? What if someone kills me? All these things are happening right now. These are the fears you need to address. These are the fears you need to overcome. Death is not a scary experience. Life is a scary experience. Life is the problem, it's not death. Understand life, and you will understand death.